Greetings. So we're past the first period of Vancouver, Minnesota. I am live tweeting during the game today because why not? And just to show that I'm finding my Zen place. If you're a Leaf fan and you found your Zen place today, honestly, I had on this board 3-1 Columbus. I had a Columbus jersey on. I was all set to do the review before the Canuck game started of Toronto and Columbus. I thought, all right, this game's gonna be over. It's done. There's no way a John Tortorella coach team is going to blow a 3-goal lead. But there was something that happened late in this game, and I'm not trying to take away from what happened with Toronto. I'm not. But Zach Werenski missing the last 9 minutes of this game, that does have an effect. When you have got Scott Harrington on the ice instead of Zach Werenski, and we don't know Zach Werenski's status going to Game 5. So as much as we talked up Jake Muzzin being out and how that affects the Leafs, if there's no Zach Werenski, that is absolutely huge for Columbus. Seth Jones can play his offensive style. Werenski can play both, so he can cover for Jones. Without Werenski, all right, let's get to this. Merzlikins in. Anderson with a .948 save percentage in this series. And I thought that was noteworthy because there are people who've thrown him under the bus. And yet, he has a .948 save percentage coming into tonight. And tonight's result will not adversely affect that by very much. Harrington replaces Murray. So not only by the end of this game are they without Werenski, but Ryan Murray isn't in the lineup either. And so Harrington is going to be far more important than I think you want him to be if you're a Columbus fan. Both goalies looked sharp early until Atkinson gets a goal from Dubois at 3:58, and I thought, all right, so we've already seen 4 teams eliminated. It looks like Toronto may go out next. This is just how things work. These series are going to be rapid fire and done. And then after that fast transition goal where the Tavares line was victimized on that one. Tavares has to be really frustrated with how often his line there's problems and it's in their net. Goal line stand then by Elvis. I thought he looked really good. Close call then for Boone Jenner. Jenner, of course, would make up for that later. Columbus using the stretch pass against the Leafs defense. And it was successful often enough that they kept trying it. And so the Leafs definitely, it felt like, had some defensive miscues along the way. Late power play for the Leafs on a penalty by Werenski, who's still in the game at this stage. Strong penalty kill. Elvis was at 35 straight saves at that point. It would be 36 by the end of the first period. Elvis looked like a wall. This is what Columbus does. You have Korpisalo, and then he looks kind of average, and then you get Merzlikins in, and then by the time Merzlikins looks average, you get Korpisalo in. You just rotate them while they're hot, and this is what Columbus has done this year to their advantage. So Game 5, I have no idea. I would expect Elvis in net for Game 5, but we'll see, because it's Tortorella, and you just never know. Second period, Columbus not giving the Leafs any room down the middle, and that was the storyline throughout this game, where they clog it up, and there's nowhere to go. The players, I was wondering if they might be tired after the overtime last night. The answer is no. So there's a question mark on the board. The answer is no. The way that overtime was played tonight, just fantastic. Gavrikov then scores from Savard and Texier at 4:40. So we're 4 minutes into the second period, and I'm not envisioning wearing this hat and jersey combination at all tonight. There's no chance. I'm being 100% honest. I'm like, okay, so that's it. The media is going to go nuts, and I guarantee that a lot of tweets got deleted before this game. I did not delete a tweet. I'm going to say right out, I did not delete a tweet. I retweeted this from Sid. I didn't tweet anything out myself. No. Elvis denied Tavares, and it had to be frustrating for Tavares. 44 saves in a row at that point for Elvis. Feels like game one, and it was a question of whether or not the Leafs could get a goal. At this point, could the Leafs even get a goal? Columbus was giving Matthews no room. And Tortorella, really good coach. He's got the whole team buying in. Everything looked great to this stage of the game, which just makes it more remarkable what would end up happening in this game. Power play for Columbus. The Leafs had a shorthanded chance, was broken up by Seth Jones. Dubois then hacked Anderson, and the fight was on. So Freddie Anderson takes a hat from Dubois, and maybe the Leafs were going, all right, we've looked for an excuse to punch that guy in the head. He just gave us one, so here we go. Foligno, after that power play was already in effect, Foligno then gets caught for a hook, and it's a 5-on-3 for 13 seconds. but the Columbus Blue Jackets frustrated the Leafs power play and did not give them a goal at that stage. Savard then, he's guilty of a trip, and that's the fourth power play for Toronto. So again, they're getting lots of power play time, lots of shots, but they're just not getting that goal that they need. Last minute, Elvis made a great penalty kill save on Matthews, and then Riley takes a penalty with 20.6 seconds left and makes it a 4-on-4. So Columbus would open the third with a power play of their own. Third period. Good penalty kill for the Leafs to start, which didn't look that important at the time because it's 2-0 Columbus. It's the third period. This is done. It's over. Anderson denied Robinson after Spezza lost his helmet. So Spezza loses his helmet. You got to leave the ice. Either leave the ice or put your helmet back on. So he goes to leave the ice, which leaves the Leafs shorthanded in their own zone. And, you know, the announcers even said at some point this is going to come back and bite him, right? Like, at some point we're going to see a goal in an important Stanley Cup playoff game because somebody's going off to get a new helmet or just leaving the ice because they dropped theirs. Or they're trying to put their helmet back on and they're not in the play and there's going to be a puck in the back of their net. My answer to that is always tighten your chin straps. We had a problem where the chin straps were just not tight at all and helmets were flying off to the point where I didn't think they were providing very much protection because the slightest jarring knocked their helmet off and then they'd be skating around without it. Barry then had a shot that hit the post. The fourth line really good for the Leafs tonight. The Spezza line, excellent. Composed Merzlikins, and that was an issue for the goal-starved Leafs at the time. Marner then committed a trip at 9:04 as the Leafs were caught trying to do too much. So Marner was chasing whoever had the puck, trying to do too much by himself, not utilizing his line mates, teammates, and it just looked like at this point everything's falling apart for Toronto. Shorthanded, Hyman gets a shot because the penalty kill had to be more aggressive. Kapanen was up there with him, so some really, really strong play overall by the Leafs penalty kill. Tavares, Matthews, and Marner were put together on the same line, and it is worthy of note. This is a line that is $11 million in cap for Tavares, $11.634 million in cap for Matthews, $10.893 million in cap for Marner. And this is just reality. That is a line that costs them $34 million in cap space between the three of them. So they have to produce. And luckily, if you're a Leaf fan, they did. They actually did. So Columbus was sitting back, clogging the neutral zone, and they got a goal on a turnover. This is what the neutral zone trap's supposed to do. Jenner scores from Foligno at 14:18. And the Leafs then pull the goalie with 4 minutes and 18 seconds left. So with a 3-0 lead, and with a 3-0 lead, you're thinking, okay, so Columbus has this. You'll notice there's an Admiral Akbar magnet. Now I'm going to go ahead and hold this up to the camera because I haven't used this at all. It's a trap. Now, normally the trap is the game. The trap is something that I say it's before the game, and it's you're overlooking this team because they don't look like they're a threat and they don't look like they're a big deal. The Leafs were a trap game as soon as this was 3-0. So again, at this point, Werenski's out of the game. Now Harrington is paired with Seth Jones, and that's a big difference. Nylander scores from Hyman and Marner at 16:05, and then 49 seconds later, again with the goalie pulled, Tavares scores from Matthews and Marner. There's that $30+ million in cap spent wisely. Empty net then, close call for Dubois, and boy, is he going to see that in his sleep. So he hit the side of the net. It went through the plastic on the side of the net, and they got the whistle, and I thought, okay, well, they've got it at their end. That'll be fine. And then Sheldon Keefe did something brilliant. He rested his top guys and put the fourth line out there to kill off about 90 seconds, get the top guys a rest. And then Hyman would score from Matthews and Nylander at 19:37. And we're going to overtime. This is after, and I did say in Discord, on the Patreon Discord, I said, there's no way that Columbus is going to blow a 3-0 lead. And like I said, I had my Columbus jersey on. I had written on the board CBJ 3-1. And then we go to overtime. The overtime board was needed. So Werenski had been out since 9:06 left in the third period, did not come back. If he does not come back for Game 5, that is huge. Absolutely, then probably leaves things where the Leafs should win Game 5. And that would be huge. And again, this is one of those character-building games where you've come back from being down, and this is where if the Toronto Maple Leafs are finally going to realize that potential that they're paying these top guys for, it has to be in Game 5 on Sunday. They can't come up short. Matthews got early chances to end it. Harrington paired with Jones minus Werenski again. Momentum's all with the Maple Leafs. There was pushback by Columbus, and there seemed to be lots of energy considering they played an overtime game last night as well. Elvis then denied Riley. Dermott blocked a Bjorkstrand shot. That's key, because that's a season saver right there. Foligno tried to power one home and got stopped. Elvis was up to 49 saves. And he looked composed again. After that meltdown in the last few minutes, he's composed. Columbus then gets a penalty. Foligno went to the box. He didn't like it. He thought Riley dove. Riley was down on the ice, looked hurt. You get the whistle, and then Riley's right back up, and he's okay, and Foligno did not appreciate that. Leafs get that power play. On the power play, it is Matthews from Tavares and Marner at 13 minutes and 10 seconds. I will be very interested to see what happens with the lineup for the Columbus Blue Jackets. If you're a Columbus fan, you got to be going, oh great, it's like the regular season. Now we're short Murray and Werenski, and yeah, that's how things work for Columbus. And Toronto come out of today relatively healthy. I understand Muzzin being out is huge, but today they did it. They did it. The relatively no-name brand of their blue line outside of Riley, it worked. So the shots favored Toronto the whole way. 15-13 in the first, 16-13 in the second, 8-6 in the third, and then in the overtime, 14-7. Yeah, the Leafs were not going away. Final shots 53-39 in favor of Toronto. The hits were 26-20 in favor of Columbus because they didn't have the puck. Power plays 0 for 3 for Columbus, 1 for 4 for Toronto. They got the one that matters in overtime. Anderson 36 saves on 39 shots. Merzlikins 49 saves on 53 shots. We're going to Game 5. I couldn't be happier. This was a lot of fun to watch. The chaos that is the 2020 Stanley Cup play-ins, and I'm thinking the playoffs next week will be equally chaotic. It's not done yet. It is not done yet. But by this time tomorrow, we should have a good idea of who's facing who in the West. And I'll probably be able to start doing some preview videos for round 1 tomorrow night. But the Leafs are not out. We will have at least one Game 5. We'll see if Minnesota can force another. I think they probably do. But the Vancouver-Minnesota game is so back and forth. We'll see. There you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. And hey, Toronto, congratulations on being the one that comes back from 3-0 down. Doesn't that feel better? Look forward to Steve Dangle being in a much better mood tonight. Although he should have started recording it while they were down 3-0 and been ranting, and then does a cut, and then he puts in how happy he is after that. That would be great. Hopefully that's what he does. Anyways, thank you guys so much for all your support. Thanks for all who have hit like and subscribe over the last couple of weeks. It's been great. And if you haven't, go ahead and do that. And hey, I will talk to you guys again soon.